How do I keep peace in all of my relationships? This is my first week of living in my new apartment with my 4 new roommates. It was such a smooth transition, almost effortless. The ironic thing is that we all have different cultural backgrounds and personality types. How can we be so different, yet get along so well in such a tight space, you might ask? Well, we all share something in common. We wake up early in the morning to pray, sing praises, and read the Word. We also started a new condition together where we take turns every day sharing one story of something we are thankful for. This time of fellowship and centering on something much greater than ourselves is a secret that unifies us all. Inside this house, we've made somewhat of an ideal world where every conflict and problem can be resolved. There is a prophecy in the Bible that describes this harmony with others in a beautiful parable. It's found in Isaiah 11, 6-9. The wolf will live with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat, the calf and the lion and the yearling together, and a little child will lead them. The cow will feed with the bear, their young will lie down together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox. The infant will play near the cobra's den, and the young child will put its hand into the viper's nest. They will neither harm nor destroy on all my holy mountain, where the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. When you think about it, all these animals can represent people of different personality types. Even Chinese zodiacs use animals to refer to people. Mine just so happens to be the sheep, which are very peaceful animals. My MBTI personality type is INFP, also known as the Peaceful Mediator. Ironically, the meaning of my name, Rachel, also means God's Lamb. Is this coincidence, or was God dealing the cards to get me 3 in a row? You never know. It's interesting when I think about how different and unique each human being is, yet we are grouped together by our identifiable commonalities. Among my roommates, we are quite the mix, each of us from different nations and backgrounds. There's a wide range of strengths and weaknesses that differentiate us. But for every person's weakness is another person's strength, and one person's strength is another's weakness. I'm reminded of that verse, Ecclesiastes 4, 9-10. 2 are better than 1, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. So in this way, we build each other up and help each other. There is no sense in comparing each other or being envious of another's strength, because there is something unique that each person has that empowers the whole group. I'm grateful for my weaknesses because it allows me to learn from others and it keeps me humble. But I've also realized the value of my individual strengths, such as being the peacemaker that is quick to care, love, and forgive. I think it's important to remind ourselves often of our individual strengths to combat the daily reminders that we are lacking. Instead of comparing myself to others, I try to compare my current self to my past self and see how much I've grown. Having this perspective helps me to stay positive and not give up when I keep failing. When conflicts arise, I try to remind myself of this verse in Ephesians 4, 2-3. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Continuing on from that, instead, speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become, in every respect, the mature body of Him who is the head, that is, Christ. From Him, the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. That's such a beautiful way to live. The Bible gives the perfect guide for how to live in peace and harmony with others, but it's so easy to forget. That's why it's important to meditate on this word day and night, so those verses will spring to mind during a difficult time. I learned from having several different roommates that it's important to consider people's feelings above all else. When someone is angry and says something negative about you, instead of getting upset, think about the root cause of why they might think that way. It helps to look from their perspective. It can be difficult with different kinds of personalities, but if you can understand the way someone feels and thinks, then you can more easily resolve it in a peaceful way. Think about a conflict you had with someone. How did it get resolved in the end? I'll share one of my personal experiences. I had a roommate who was very, very clean and didn't like it if there was a single dish in the sink or crumb on the table. I didn't understand why she would get upset about such a small thing. But to her, it was a combination of many small things. She felt that I wasn't being considerate of her if I didn't clean up after myself. Before living with her, I had lived by myself, so I was used to cleaning up whenever I felt like it. It was difficult for me to keep things clean all the time, but then I tried to consider how it really made her feel. We had a discussion about it after that because she was hurt by the fact that I wasn't keeping things clean. But I was hurt because she told me I was inconsiderate and selfish for not cleaning. It was not because I was lazy and I wanted her to clean up for me. I always had the intention of cleaning, but I didn't make it my first priority, so sometimes I wouldn't clean up right away. In the end, I told her I was so sorry, and I had no idea that this was causing her stress and making her uncomfortable, and that I would make it my priority to keep things as clean as I could. This lesson taught me that by listening closely and understanding how someone feels can help to resolve problems. When we realize that our actions are making someone else uncomfortable, it makes us want to change. Since then, I've become much more aware of my surroundings and sensitive to others, which has naturally resulted in being cleaner as well. So let me end with this question. What conflict or problem are you currently dealing with? How can you resolve it in love with the attitude of Christ?